Hello, I'm Holly Patrick, Senior Journalist at North Star Meetings Group, and today I am delighted to be joined by Danni Haig, Principal Business Psychologist at DH Coaching and Consulting, and also Anna Marie Trzebinski, CEO and founder of AMTEvents. And we're going to be talking about incentives today. Thank you both for joining me.
Thank you.
Holly, thank you.
So, Danni, let's start with you. Why are incentives still such an important part of the working culture?
It's a really good question. I think that actually incentives are more important now than ever before with regards to the working culture. If we look at what's going on a global scale with regards to the economy, when we think about the amount of stress and overwhelm that that's causing people on a global level, as well as the fact that we've just been through a fourth industrial revolution that's kind of just crept on us. You know, we didn't really get much of a lead in, and suddenly we're just living in this hyper digital world that we've never really lived in before. We've got AI and integration, which is causing a lot of stress and confusion and concern for many people. And then, of course, the C word, COVID. Why did this industrial revolution come about so quickly? Well, we were kind of forced into it because of COVID and all of the restrictions. And consequently, because of that, our working world will never be the same way that it was before. No. Things have changed now. And working from home, we feel disconnected from our colleagues. We feel, there's that lack of productivity, disengagement with one another. And so we really need to be thinking as corporates, how do we start to enhance that sense of psychological safety with our employees so that we can increase productivity, enhance that engagement, and really just connect with people in a way that we've never really done before or had to before. So I think incentives can actually answer a lot of those problems if they're looked at in the right way.
Thank you for that. So what are incentive programs looking at then? Let's say post-COVID, have they changed? What are corporates looking for? What are delegates looking for?
So I definitely I completely agree with you, Danni. I think fostering that loyalty by creating an incentive program for your employees, you're looking at achievement, you're creating targets. You are fostering a brand loyalty and psychological connection with those that actually get to go on that incentive. You've got to think beyond the pay packet, I think, when it comes to there's a bit of a talent shortage, there's an issue with retaining talent. And if you're going beyond looking at the pay packets and you're looking at the values and the culture of a business involving incentives, then ultimately it's about the experience that individual and that employee has with your brand. And if they're having a wonderful time and they're not going to get that anywhere else, they're creating memories, that is really what everybody is looking for. So I think, bringing it back to your question, I think the way it's changed is that everybody was so disconnected during COVID, and now we have that opportunity to go back to live experiences and travel. That's what everybody wants to do. And I think if you can bring that in an incentive program with an amazing experience bespoke for your company, what better way to really bring those values of your business to fruition.
Absolutely, yeah. Having that reconnection, that's what incentives are all about, right?
Yeah,
the reward,
absolutely.
the recognition, that we see you and we want to reward you for what you're doing.
Yeah.
So what destinations are hot at the moment in terms of incentives?
Well, the Caribbean for me.
Certainly for me.
Beyond the weather being hot. So I have been looking at, there's a lot of challenges, I think, and stigma in particular around going long haul when it comes to incentives. We have, over COVID, had different programs going on, but more based around the UK, Europe. So I've started to dig into the stigma of people's concerns and challenges that arise, but look at the counterparts to that. So when we're looking at vaccinations, cultural differences, sustainability, there's always a counterpart that actually, if you're taking that business and that tourism away, for those kind of longer haul countries to visit, then actually that's doing more damage than good. So the Caribbean for me, I've been lucky enough to visit St. Lucia in October for some incentive research, and
wow.
It was an amazing experience, from flying in and seeing the island on the horizon, the adventurous terrain, the white sandy beaches and crystal waters. They've got so much to offer in terms of adventure activities and experiences. It's very applicable to different group sizes. They're more boutique hotels versus dealing for larger numbers. Hotel Chocolat in particular was an amazing highlight for me. We got to go into the rainforest and pick cacao and make it into your own bespoke chocolate, and then adjust the dark chocolate level to your...
I mean, can anyone think of a better incentive than that?
Wow, that sounds delicious.
Yes.
And then getting to sample the end product
Exactly.
as well. Oh,
But
wow.
then beyond that, there's programs such as... so, for example, if you stay at a Sandals resort, just one example, they are working with Sandals Foundation, and there is a program where you can learn about the coral nurseries and then go and give back and do a dive and help them with that conservation.
Are you seeing that as a big part of incentive programs at the moment? You know, the delegate, the traveller wants something more than just going to a nice destination, sitting on the beach. Obviously, that's a lovely part of it, but they're looking for something maybe more of a CSR element.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's become a huge kind of driver for employees, particularly our younger employees that are coming through, that we're seeing now in the working world. We have some absolutely astounding statistics. So, for example, 80% of employees feel more engaged and connected with an organisation that invests in corporate responsibility initiatives. So, for example, we were discussing a Farm Her initiative in the Caribbean and St. Lucia, encouraging women to participate in the agricultural industry. And you can go and visit, look around the farms, and you can buy from the farmers markets, and those kind of initiatives, getting involved with the coral reef. These are the things that people want. They don't want a booze cruise around Ibiza anymore. People want to be giving back and getting that sense of we've contributed here to the world.
And it's striking that balance with the corporate responsibility. I think, yes, you do want to give that luxury element. Ultimately, everybody's really stressed. They need that downtime, that relaxation. But for example, the Bahamas, they have a people-to-people experience where you are able to connect with a Bahamian family, and then they will host you to have you in their house, go for a Bahamian meal, and you really get to know that family. And that whole program is just, inspirational. You really get to see their culture and have an impact. And I think those memories are what are important. We have a new generation. Everybody is thinking about the future. Everybody is thinking about their children. What world are we creating? What do we want to leave on this planet? And I think when it comes to corporate responsibility, there is a huge part of work and progress that we can be doing there.
There are two other points there on top of that. If you can believe it, there's even more good that can come out of it. When we think about, for example, participating in those kind of activities, getting to know local people and different ways of living, that psychologically really broadens your psychological capabilities for creativity, innovation. What more do we need right now in the world when we've got this, we're in a state of flux, chaos? We need to be creative. We need to be innovative, and actually opening up our minds and seeing a different way of living, seeing different worlds, existences is so important for that. And of course, the DEI initiative, understanding different cultures is what we're really aiming to achieve right now. And I think it's an incredible opportunity to take that.
Amazing.
Absolutely. So my last question to both of you then, what do you think is the next big incentive trend?
I think people want things that are different. I think they want novelty. Whether it's going through a rainforest, picking your cacao beans, making your own chocolate, meeting a family and going for a local, real, authentic meal in the Caribbean. Whether it's water skiing with your colleagues, getting to know people in a different way. People want that novelty, that connection to something new and connecting with each other. And it's got to be the corporate responsibility for sure. Giving back to where you are, where you're going, and getting that sense of we've done something good here.
Got it. Corporate social responsibility.
Yeah.
And reiterating what you're saying, but also bring it back to a bespoke level. I think gone are the days where you can just pick something off the shelf and deliver it to 3 or 4 groups. As a company, what are you trying to achieve? What are the issues that you really want to address within a company? And once you can understand that, with an incentive program, you can really build the activities to then incentivize, to build relationships, to improve morale. And I think that bespoke factor is super important for the itinerary, and very much dedicated to the brand rather than only the destination or only the experience.
So working in unison, working in collaboration.
Definitely.
Yeah. Fascinating stuff. Thank you so much. I love talking about incentives. I love this part of the industry. Thank you both for your time and your
Thank
expertise
you.
today.
It's been a
Enjoy the
pleasure.
rest of the
Thank you,
show.
Ollie.
Thanks so
Danni.
much.
Bye.
Thanks.